rationale here for this single pit here is that we're trying to go in two directions. And so the idea was one pit fits me, people go north as well as east. If I come over here, I really am probably going to have two pits. I have to have one to go this way and one to go this way. The location here is the basic intersection of this one.
But I just have a problem with being right there, because therefore I cannot get to the church at all, or my members, and so it's real disruptive right there for the center.
So can we make an official request? Can you go back and look at that redesign?
We certainly will look.
And have that as a
I think if Mr. Steinberg had a recommendation for that.
Yeah, I guess if I can take the floor for just a moment, Mary. In terms of mine,
Eric, I really want you to come up so we can hear you better. You can point out what you're saying. And let us thank Eric very much. And let us thank Mike. Thank you very much.
I mean, my impression is, over the course of the last year, we're very much moving in the right direction. We appreciate that. We're in much better shape than we were a year ago. Over the course of this, I'm only allowed to really get a very cursory look. I get your package on a Wednesday. We meet on a Saturday. Got to have a letter out by Monday. I'm doing the best I can. And to be honest with you, we come down today.
We're going to give you long and look at it.
Oh, yeah.
We just want to get your first glance.
From the first glance side of it, I mean, this is what I noticed in the big body was, and there may be fundamental answers to these questions, but is there a reason that the doors themselves can't be under the sidewalks rather than the streets? Is there a legal reason or an easement issue? And if we can do that, for instance, that my thoughts would be, I challenge that we're limited to 100 feet, and I'm happy to hear your feedback if I'm wrong. But if these are on 250-foot centers, to move them,
you can do it with the intersection.
You can do it from the, not in the middle of the intersection, but down and then go under it, so that all of these interconnects to the houses are now, you're ripping up the sidewalk, which I don't think is an issue.
Much more pliable, if you will.
So that's one of the things.
I think it's a fair question. I do think we want to, at least my inclination is to want to have that water line in the public right away.
Well, and that's the point. Normal, and believe me, I'm not a lawyer, with due respect, but I think the city generally has an easement going through there.
Yes,
it does.
They do.
4 feet.
Okay.
They go almost up on their lawn.
So to the degree that I've got an easement.
And it's something we can look into. One of the arguments in the big book was not doing that were the overhead power lines. Okay, they can be relocated. It's something that we can look at. But that ties on to the next question. Then is going to be, what about future gas service that needs to go in, possibly putting the electric utilities underground, telephone utilities underground, and trying to do all of this at once. Once you get in there and you have these bore pits, I still maintain you can do several bores from one pit. I applaud what Mike is telling you about the sewer. I think it's a brilliant idea. I don't want you all to think that, they're not going to, our sewers will not be as good as new. They will be as good as new using this technology where they need to do it. So you're not getting shortchanged with that. It's just they do the work inside the existing home. So these are the things that I'd like to look at, and really what I would like to do before I give more formal recommendations on trying to get this tweaked, and I've had this offer on the table since last summer. I'd love to go spend an hour or two with Carter or whoever's doing this. I know they've probably got some gray hairs and got young engineers that said, okay, somebody said 100 feet. Here we go, and just try to get this to where next time we have a meeting, I can say, look, I've really spent some time and studied it, and I know there are some things that you don't like, but overall, it's the best way to go. That's what I want to be able to recommend. I'm always reacting to the city.
We can certainly make that happen in the next couple of weeks.
And I put in my letter, how much experience does the city have with this pilot to HDD? That's what they, they're not doing these in Auburn.
No.
But not much?
Not a lot.
All right. And it's being used in a lot of municipalities. And I put forward, there's a guy in California that I've done several projects with. He's very good. He's a contractor, not an engineer, but he's the guy I go to. I think we can really do this. And he's offered to come out and walk the streets. And one day, if we can get an airfare, we can fly him in, walk the streets, spend 2 hours with Turner and Burgess, and sketch, let them go away and work. And then the next time, this phase 3 or whatever level of engineering, I can come in and say, this is the best thing going that we can do. And, it make my room. Because I want to do the best that I can.
Good. Let's do that. Let's get him in here.
And I'm available almost any
Thank
time.
you, Mike. We appreciate it. Where is he? What's his name again?
Brian Onestad. He's mentioned in my letter.
And spell his...
Aanestad. I can email you.
And he's located where?
He's located in between LA and San Diego. And in my letter last year, and I reattached it, there was a project that we did at the Scripps Institute in La Jolla, California, using the same methods now that we're getting. They were done over 700 and 800 foot distances, smaller, I wouldn't say smaller, but somewhat smaller orbits. And this guy, we could walk through it, and one day we could give Carter Burgess a way to run with it. And he's happy to donate his time. I'll let him stay at my house.
There you go.
Shouldn't be very expensive.
Low budget deal.
We are grateful. We think Mike says we can work with it. I was going to say we can work with it, and so we'll work with it. I think we've got some very good ideas on the table.
Yeah.
The one thing, Mike, we don't want to see happen is pushing up against the clock. And if you think the beginning of September is satisfactory in time, you think that's reasonable?
Think so?
Can you work with that?
I'll work that out, yeah.
And is that getting him here by the first week?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I would say the earlier the better. As I say, actually walk the streets and then say spend the afternoon in your offices and just say, can we put this one here? Can we do that?
I think this is going to be such a powerful project in terms of defining Freedmen's Town additionally, because it's defined helping to characterize these families, answering the question of the rubber trolley, answering the question of the walking trail, which I think is excellent, a great compliment. And I've always had a dream of having, once all this is done, where, and I know we do it on Juneteenth, but to have Freedmen's Town own special festival that all the stakeholders buy into, and therefore, create a special time when the walks and all of that, and the storytellers are out, and the festival people are out, and all of that. And I hope you're smiling because that's something.
Dr. Wickers talks about that.
Okay.
She is.
It must be because we feel each other.
She really.
I'd be excited about it.
She has created the picture for that.
I think it'd be wonderful. I can see it now. So, Mike, can you handle the airfare of the gentleman?
I believe I can.
All right, and you'll get back
Do
to
that
me.
through Carter and Burgess?
Yeah.
However you want to do it, just let me know and we'll set up a day. One of the questions that I did have that I'd like to pose in front of everybody before her. What about gas utilities? Any future, and it may not be the view of the city of Houston, but it's going to be a shame if we go through all this in the city of Houston and then have to go through it with Center Point. We have to go through it with. And so
Yeah, and that one.
But doesn't Carter Burgess do that?
Well, they certainly. I will charge them to look specifically at the issues of electric and gas. Electric, of course, is a challenging one. I've always had the desire, if I'm, as Eric said, if you're going to go bore, in fact, I've had this dream that whenever we do a street project, we put in a couple of duct banks under the street for anybody who comes along later. We'd be the one of choice rather than go dig up the street. That requires a little bit of an investment. Obviously, putting duct banks in is not the kind of thing to do. Well, you possibly could even, in effect, tunnel a duct bank, a conduit bank, and say, all right, now when Center Point does get the religion to do that, here it is. And I'll charge you a little bit to recover my cost when that revelation finally hits.